Okay, you are going to need two 100 ohm resistors that I've already removed from your resistor pack, and this little circuit board here, and an Arduino, and a pack of cables. Now we will start with this HC06 module. If you'll look on the back, let me see here, you'll notice, get this, okay, you'll notice that it has state, which we won't use, and all the way down at the very bottom, enable. That pin is also missing. We won't use it. You'll have receive, transmit, ground, and VCC, which is power. It will take 3.6 volts to 6 volts to power this, so you'll be able to plug that straight into the Arduino and pull 5 volts off of the Arduino, and that ought to work fine. I'll show you how to do that. I like to try to color coordinate my cabling whenever possible. It's not always possible because you just only have so many red or blue or green cables. But whenever possible. The colors don't really matter though. So if you don't have these exact colors, or you put yours in a little different, it's not going to hurt anything, just as long as they're plugged into the proper place. The one thing I would like to point out here is the receive. That is a 3.3 volt level. It can't take 5 volts. The Arduino, it can listen to 3.3 volts, and it'll see that just fine. But it talks in 5 volt pulses, and that will be enough to damage this. So we're going to build with these two little resistors a series circuit known as a voltage divider, and it'll take that 5 volts and cut it in half. And so half of 5 volts is 2.5 volts, and that is within the range of that 3.3 maximum, so it should work fine. So the first thing we do is we take these, and these labels, they all go with the corresponding pins, so we just look on the back and see which one needs to be plugged into. I'm going to just turn this around so I can see it, and I'm just going to plug it right there into the middle of that circuit board where it's easy to get to, so I can easily see all of this stuff. Now, let me look through my little pile here. I like to use black for ground, which is kind of an industry standard. So I'll look on here, and there's ground. I'll plug this right in there to ground, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to plug it into this blue strip right here. And so I'm going to use that blue strip as my ground. Then I'm going to get a red one. See if we have a short red one in here. Pull these out and dig through them a little bit. There's a couple of short ones. They're not too bad. Okay, so VCC, that's our voltage input. So I'll plug a red one into there, and then plug this into the red strip down here, so you can see that that's going to be where my positive and negative go. Now, my receive, I've got transmit and receive right next to each other. My transmit, that's basically like a mouth. Mouths talk, a transmitter talks. So let me find, I think in my older video I used orange, so in this one I'm going to use orange. Orange is going to be for my transmitter. Plug that right in there. And blue is an ear. That's a receiver. Receivers listen, but it's sensitive to loud noises, so we've got to cut down the volume or the voltage. So we're going to use one of these resistors, and I'm going to plug that resistor into there, and then just over here somewhere. Then I'm going to use the other one, and I'm going to also plug into where that ear is and then go to ground. That will encourage that incoming signal, which will now be plugged into this resistor, have to go across a resistor and then cross another resistor to go to ground, and half the voltage will be dropped across each resistor, leaving exactly half of the voltage to be applied to that receiver. And it should be able to handle that nicely then. The other thing is we need to get 5 volts and ground here, so we're going to go to this Arduino here, and I will take right here on the side where it says 5 volts, I'll plug this in, and that will plug into the 5 volt, and then I'm going to take the ground side, and that will plug into ground on the Arduino. So when I power this up, this should power up nicely, or we'll see some smoke, you know, not completely uncommon in my classes. And we have flashing. It looks like it powered up nicely.